Hi, viewers. Welcome to another edition of Marriage Clinic Live. How are you today? I remain your host, Morala and Oputi. I would like to start by saying thank you to everyone. I really appreciate you all for always joining us in all of our programs, in all of our events. Thank you, even for your participation on the platform, for always participating on those questions that we put out there. I would like to say thank you for always joining us. So we are here today live, and I'm so excited about this evening because I believe that this evening will mark like a remarkable shift in someone's life, in someone's marriage. I tell you, something is about to turn around in your home, in your marriage, and in your family as a whole, because the knowledge that is coming to you today is going to be transformative. And you know what? You will have no choice than to run with it or to do something about what you have heard today. So trust me when I say that our guest speakers that will bring on Marriage Clinic, they are always on fire and they will always give you value for your time. You can trust me for that. So today we are privileged to have our guest speaker in the house, and he's ready for us live. But before I bring him up, I would like to say, please, let's keep sharing this video. Let's start inviting our friends, our loved ones, because this is really going to be transformative. So let's try to share this video. Let's try to invite others as we are about to start. So I'd like to start by saying that the first time I heard our guest speaker speak was sometimes about 4 or 5 years ago at the Excellence in Leadership Conference at Daystar. And honestly, when I heard him speak on that day, when I got home, somehow I tend to lose my sleep. I just lost my sleep. Why? Because the things he said kept, coming at me, and I was like, I've heard, the last time I heard of catalyst was when I was in secondary school. And, when I saw this person and, he was being introduced as the catalyst, I said, indeed, this is the real catalyst, because, something just kept moving in me that, you must do something about what you have heard. And, he gave us so much information on that day that I can attest to the fact that with the things he told us then, that I've put to practice, that I've put to work, I can say that today it has added to me. He may not know, but I'm one of his followers. I like listening to him. I've also heard him speak on TVC during Mariah's program. I've heard him talk a lot. And when it comes to topics about parenting, wow, it's so vast, in that area. So parents, please stay tuned. I don't want you to leave your seat. Please stay glued, because I can assure you, you are going to be getting a lot of information today. So without mincing words, I would also like to say that Mr. Lanre Olusola will be having a parenting program sometimes end of this month. I think July 27th. It's a 7 days, and we also have the 2 days program available on parenting. So you as a parent, if you know that you don't want to gamble with the training of your children, please make sure you attend this program. The information will be scrolling on the screen. You can register. You will see all the details there. You'll see that information on the screen. So let's try to also do that. So I would like to say that our guest speaker is actually, I call him the coach of life coaches. The coach of life coaches. I've heard some other people say, the Oga Pata Pata of life coaches. That is the truth. Recently he was admitted as an executive member of the Forbes Coaches Council, and he's a globally acclaimed life coach. He is the founder and chief catalyst at the Lanre Olusola Coaching Academy, a mind, emotion, and behavioral change coaching academy. And he is the chief catalyst in that organization. Join me as I welcome this evening the catalyst himself, Mr. Lanre Olusola. Woo! Thank
Wow.
you so much for
Good evening,
coming.
Ayo. How are you?
Thank you. We are glad to have you this evening on Marriage Clinic.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for everyone that is watching, that tuning in from everywhere in the world. I couldn't be anywhere else but with you. Talking about these very, very critical issues on marriage. I love what you do, the
Thank you.
marriage clinic. Trying to change the world. We
Mm,
have to start from the family, and the family starts from the marriage. So,
that's
you know,
true.
the thing that you're doing is what is needed in the world today. So, well done,
Thank
Morale.
you. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. So, like we said, we will just go to the question and answer directly because, see, honestly, I have, loads of questions to ask Mr. Lanre Olushola, and I believe he will do justice to all of that. So, we will start by asking you, sir, what do you think are the negative impact of a husband or a wife not playing their role well in marriage? What are the negative impacts that we tend to see as a result of couples, husband, wife, not playing their role properly as father, as mother, as wife, as husband? We want to know what the negative impact are, especially on the home, on the children, and on the society at large.
Like I said, the bedrock of society is the family. The
Mm,
bedrock of every family is the marriage, and there are two people that make up a marriage. And so, if you want to see a functional uh, society, if you want to see a society there's peace in it, if you want to see a fulfilled society, a satisfied society, if you want to see a happy society, if you want to see a prosperous society,
mm,
if you want to see a functional society, then it starts from the two individuals that come together to marry, and
mm.
then impact that they have on their children by virtue of the environment that they create, whilst nurturing the children. And so today, we're talking about rape, right? Today we're
Yeah.
talking about racism. Today we're talking about it being okay for a white man to kneel down on the neck of a black man and
Mm,
snuff out his life in front of a camera
mm,
and not giving a damn about it. We're talking about lynching people. We're talking about stealing. We're talking about corruption.
mm,
We're talking about mass embezzlement. We're talking
mm,
about conspiracies, to wipe out an entire generation and an entire race. All of that is
mm,
the function of dysfunctionality in the home,
mm,
dysfunctionality in the family, dysfunctionality in the marriage, and dysfunctionality in the lives of the individual. Now, you
mm.
see, individuals that came together to marry, right?
Yeah.
And created a dysfunctional environment where they nurtured dysfunctional children. They didn't attempt to do it
Mm,
intentionally. They too were victims of a dysfunctional environment. And then
mm,
from one generation to the other generation, we've been passing down dysfunctionality. And,
mm,
we need to get to a point where we need to begin to ask ourselves, really and truly, is this what God had in mind?
mm,
Because this happened many years ago. And
mm,
if we are students of history, it has happened before. There was a lot of sin, there was a lot of chaos, there was a lot of disruption in the world, and God decided, I can no longer take this. I can no
mm,
longer take this, and I will no longer take this. And then He said, and He only saved one family, Noah's family.
mm,
Now that was a pandemic. He wiped out a whole existence
mm,
simply because there was dysfunctionality that was perpetrated in society, which
mm,
came from dysfunctional families. And so we need to come to terms with the fact that COVID-19 is a wake-up call. The coronavirus pandemic is a wake-up call. There's nothing
Wow.
different between it and the time when the whole world was wiped out by flood. It is time for us to begin to sit down again and ask ourselves, what is the purpose of parenting? What is the purpose of family? What is the purpose of marriage? It is important for us to recognize that parenting is all about inspiring our children to pursue and to achieve a God given vision. And what is God's given vision? I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. So
Yeah.
it's prosperity physically, emotionally, psychologically, relationally, environmentally, and globally. Parenting is a process. It is about maximizing the efforts, the potential of your children towards the achievement of a family goal. So, what is your family goal? What is your family vision? How does your family goal and vision align with your community goal and vision? How does that align with the vision of your country? How does that align with God's vision concerning nations and continents? Parenting is about influence. It's not about power. It's not about age. It's not about position, but it's about purpose and wisdom. The Bible says that wisdom is profitable for all things. It is profitable to direct. And with your wisdom, get knowledge, get understanding, get insight. But wisdom must be aligned to purpose. Parenting requires children, right? And so the
Yeah.
measure of a parent is the outcome of the children. The measure of the success of a parent or a marriage or a family is how society is turning out. And so, we're not doing them a favor, right? Without them,
Yeah.
we're no parents. Without them, we're not fulfilled in the construct of family. The reason why we are called family is because the children chose to come, or God chose to dispatch them on our behalf, or rather through us to nurture them on His behalf. So without children, there are no parents. Let's get that right. The parents need the children to fulfill their purpose. I'm talking about the children fulfilling their purpose. So the whole
Yeah.
purpose of parenting, right, is because
Yeah.
you have children. If you don't have children, you are not a parent.
True.
So we should not think that they're here because of us. We are here because of them.
So then.
We are here because of them. And so we need to ask ourselves, because if you do not know the purpose of a thing, abuse is inevitable. Everyone is born with the potential to be a parent, but not everyone becomes a great parent.
True.
So there's a huge gap as we speak today in the quality of parenting. There's a scarcity as we speak today in the area of good, great parenting. The world needs parents. The world needs the family. But the world needs functional parents. The world needs functional families. For the world a functional place.
Good. So not just parents, but functional parents and functional families.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you very much, Sam. So there is also these trending questions that comes a lot. I mean, we get this question from people every now and then, and this has to do with some women, saying, "Oh, ma'am, what can we do about the fact that my husband is cheating on me, and I'm expected to take it like that whenever I report him, maybe to his parents or to leaders or to people I feel he will listen to. They will say, oh, madam, it's part of life, just take it like that and be praying for him that someday he will change, just be open and praying that he will change." Sir, what do you think? Because this cheating habit, I think is more of a behavioral issue. So, do you think just praying and hoping will change a man or prevent him from cheating?
You know, let me. create a balance. It's not only men that cheat; women cheat.
Exactly.
So let's not cast aspersions. Because a man cannot cheat if there's no woman to cheat with. And
True.
and, and today, men are cheating with men. Women are cheating with women. Men are cheating with men. Women are cheating with men. So we're talking about dysfunctionality. We're still coming back to dysfunctionality in this regard, right? Right? Where you can see a man, that desires another man, or a woman that desires another woman. We're all not okay. Society is just not okay.
True.
And we didn't start today. Started way back. So if I'm going to address the husband and the wife, right, it is to address it from this perspective, right? When you were dating, what were the things that you were dealing with? What were the things that you were talking about? You know how it is, right? That good girls like bad boys. You don't want to marry a saint to say that it's not your spec. You want a 6'4", 6 pack, fine boy that has mortars, that you would have been seeing some traits, you would have been
Yeah.
seeing some behavioral traits, but at that point, infatuation has blocked your eyes, and maybe it's a matter of your sell-by date. Oh, you are 35, you are approaching 40, so let me just know. When I marry, I will change him. You know, you want to change him. You can't change anybody. Nobody can change anybody. So, you must have been seeing those traits, and those traits you should have dealt with, whilst you are dating. You should have dealt with a lot of those things. But, there are certain things that, look, we have been born again for well over 25 years, and I have a personal relation. I've had a personal relationship with God since I was 2 years old. God is my father. I'm God's son. Okay? I don't want anyone to get this right wrong. Yeah, this guy, waiting to do himself. Waiting to talk to. Look, it is important for us to realize that, we should understand the purpose of every single thing that we do before we get into it. If not, we will get it wrong. A lot of people married for the wrong reasons. One of the reasons why a lot of people married is because they are God. So we were being taught that if you do not want to sin, if you do not want to commit sexual sin, you want to quickly marry. It is not a good enough reason. The reason why you do what you do will be more important than what you do. So if you marry because this guy he couldn't hold himself and you couldn't hold yourself, the next thing is when you marry, you'll be tired of it. How many married people will consistently have sex 3, 4 times, 5 times a week? How many? 4, 5 years into their marriage. That thing that is doing you this, you're tired. It's not
It's
a good enough reason for you to marry. And so many people marry for the wrong reason. Many
wrong.
people marry because they don't really take foreign. And they're wondering now that, okay, when they married for this reason, right?
Yeah.
And they stopped delivering. They're wondering why their spouse going home. The second thing is many people don't even know how to. They don't even know how to satisfy their spouse. They don't even know what satisfies them. And they are not even willing to do what it takes to experience sexual satisfaction and fulfillment. They don't understand what it takes. They bring in Christianese into it. The Bible says marriage bed is undefiled. It's not God's business what you do, husband and wife, on your bed. So, look, 80% of women are not satisfied by
Wow.
penetration. 60 60% of women don't reach orgasm with their partner, or even higher.
Hmm.
Many partners are pretending.
Hmm.
And two things are very critical to marriages being breaking up:
Hmm.
lack of sexual satisfaction and finance.
Hmm.
Those are the two things, top two things. In fact,
Hmm.
lack of sexual satisfaction is the number one.
Hmm.
So they don't know what to do, and ignorance is your biggest enemy, not Lucifer. What are you praying about? The Bible says, "My own people are destroyed because of lack of knowledge, not because of
Knowledge. Hmm.
you are ignorant when it comes to the bedmatics. You are ignorant when it comes to sexual fulfillment and satisfaction.
Hmm.
And look, if you are hungry, what are you going to do? If a
Ah.
man is hungry and he doesn't see food, what is he going to do?
Ah.
Will he stay hungry for 2 days, 3 days, one
No.
week, 1 month?
No.
If you are
No.
thirsty, what are you going to
He's
do?
going to look for a way out.
In fact, there's no other need on the Maslow's hierarchy of needs that comes up twice, like sex. Sex comes up twice on the
Hmm.
Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We did not tell God to create it. Let me get us to understand this, right? God hadn't created us. Then we now went back and negotiated with Him. Say, Baba God, why? There's something that you did not add. Add sex to it.
Hmm.
No, He created it. Everything that we're enjoying now, He thought about it. He created it.
Hmm.
So that thing that we have in mind that sex is negative, is bad, it is unholy, it is this. You cannot have oral sex, you cannot do this, you cannot do with the same mouth that you used to pray. Is the same. Don't you use that same mouth to eat bokoto? Don't you use that same mouth to abuse? Don't you use that same, it's not what you take in that defiles you,
Hmm.
it's what comes out.
Hmm.
So there are many things we need to get right. Many Christians, lack knowledge.
Hmm.
So it's not about prayer. The key fundamental, the key principles that keep a marriage together, that bring about marital satisfaction, that bring about you being able to satisfy your spouse in your
Hmm.
home, you don't know it. And that's
Hmm.
why you have to level up.
Hmm.
That's why you have to level up. Because
Hmm.
look, you are parenting the way you were parented. We are trying to bring up new children the old way. You cannot put new wine into old wineskin. That's why you need to level up. You need to upgrade your parenting skills. And
Hmm.
that's why Yeti Williams and I, Lagos Moms and I, are putting together this Parenting 2.0 program
Hmm.
because you have to level up.
Hmm.
So if you haven't registered, there's the 2 day option, 27
Hmm.
and 28. You can
Hmm.
decide to do just 2 days. You can decide to do the 7 day course
Days.
where we're going to take you on a course. Look, if you want to be a successful architect, you go to school, right?
Yeah.
If you want to be a successful lawyer, what do? You go to the law school.
Just
If you want
lost
to
him.
be a successful engineer, you go to school. Where have you gone for parenting
Hmm.
school? You have
That's
only attended your parents' school. The home you were nurtured in has been your nurturing ground, your university, your PhD. If your parents were dysfunctional, no doubt you are dysfunctional.
Hmm.
If you're a product of a broken, dysfunctional, abusive home, many of us were, right?
Hmm.
You are dysfunctional, abusive, no doubt. And so we need to wake up to the reality of the times. Look, that is why there's a disconnect between us and our children. There's
Hmm.
a, we're calling them millennials. A lot of them are spending more time on their tablets. They are spending more time watching TV. They're spending more time on things rather than building those relationships.
Hmm.
When last did you sit together as a family to eat? Do you know that it is the family that eats together that stays together, not prays together? Do you know that the research has proven that families that eat together, right, they bond and they grow together. There's even less dysfunctionality in families that eat together on the same table every day.
Hmm. Hmm. It together.
Less behavioral issues with your
Hmm.
children. If you go to prison, 70 to 80% of the youth in prison came out of families that never ate together.
Hmm.
One, out. I'm giving you empirical data. When last we are too busy. A lot of parents are absentee parents. They're too busy for the assignment that you were created for. Say you call yourself a parent, right? You cannot call yourself what you don't do. Say I'm a doctor, but you don't practice medicine. You're a driver, but you don't drive. You're an architect, you don't practice architecture. Why? Of what essence is that label? So parenting is just a label. It's not about the name, it's about the function. So we all need to go back to basics, pretty much. Because, you know, I believe that God is not satisfied. God is not happy with the level of ignorance that we're displaying with ourselves, our purpose, with our marriages, with our homes, with our parenting style, and with how we're bringing up our children. The future of the world is not in us, it is in our children. But our role is to be the bridge, is to nurture them into their nature, because nurture creates nature. So, what nature are you creating in your children with you are nurturing them? And where are you getting the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding to use to nurture them? If your children fail tomorrow, it's your fault because you nurtured them to fail. If your children are dysfunctional tomorrow, it's your fault because you nurtured them to be dysfunctional. That's your number one rule. Not even that thing that you do in your church. Your number one assignment, right, is to bring up a functional, happy, harmonious family. That's your number one estate. That's why the Bible says charity begins at home. Charity starts at home. You must show love and charity to the people around you first.
Thank you so
And
much, sir.
another one do for people outside, and then the real people is left with.
Thank you so much, sir. So, still on that question, because we get that question a lot. And while you were talking, I was just thinking, okay, so what kind of training would maybe a cheating husband or a cheating wife would even pass on to their children? Because already that parenting style is already faulty. So I'm wondering, okay, so what lessons or what values would they be passing on to their children? So because a lot of women, they've been asking this question, what can we do aside from praying, to make this man or this woman stop going out there to cheat? So that practical step, or what else can we do aside from just praying? Because many of them keep saying, oh, we get this pray, pray, pray. Lord, some say we have been praying now for how many years, yet the man is getting worse, yet the woman is getting worse. There was even a man that said, ma'am, at this point, she no longer comes to the house. She doesn't sleep in the house anymore. So what can we do? Exactly, and these are people with children, grown-up children, and you will now be wondering, okay, madam, if you are behaving this way, oh, sir, if you are acting this way, what lessons or what values are you passing on to these children that you have? So I don't know if you can tell us what else can we do about this issue in practical terms, aside from just praying. We know prayer works, but I still believe there is more to it because it's a behavioral issue.
All right, your behavior is a function of your environment. It's a coping mechanism. And many of us were introduced into sex quite early. Most were abused, including men. Let me just tell you, most men were abused even by their house girls, whether with their nannies, by their cousins, older cousins or aunties. Most men, right? And so you were nurtured in a dysfunctional. So what he's dealing with, right? He needs therapy.
Yeah.
Many, many people that are promiscuous, right, had
Yeah.
sexual abuse issues. They do not help themselves. And so, practical thing to do is to go see a therapist, right? But you cannot change a man I does not want to change. The unfortunate thing about infidelity, right, is that the Bible says stolen waters is sweet, bread in the secret is pleasant. Even though it burn into the person, it could destroy you. But I mean, it's almost like addiction. A lot of people's infidelity, hammers around in addiction. A lot of people have needs that are met. I've said it, you should need to sit down and identify why you are doing it, because the reason why you are doing what you're doing is more important than what you're doing. So a lot of people never sit down to investigate, to diagnose, and identify the reason why they are doing it and what they can substitute that with. Those are the first level practical things, right? What is the need that I'm trying to? What is the problem? Do you know a lot of people is self-esteem? A lot of men that go around sleep around is lack of self-esteem, is lack of acceptance. For some people, it's an addiction. For some people, it makes them feel powerful. So it is not the sex; it is the result that comes after it. But you see, the thing about human nature is you can trick the mind, you can trick the brain, and that's why you need to work with a very skilled therapist or coach, because you have to substitute. You will still meet the need, but you substitute what gives you the fulfillment of that need, what scratches that itch. So you may be trying to look for acceptance through sex, but there are many other ways that you can feel accepted. You see what I mean, right? So
Yeah.
it is important for you to sit down with a specialist that understands the concept of substitution, the concept of renewal. So the Bible says in Romans 12 to renew your mind. It is telling you to replace it. When you find out that you have a need, and that need, may lead you to dysfunctionality, the Bible says replace it, substitute it. But you cannot substitute it on your own. You need help. You cannot substitute what you haven't identified the root cause of. You must find the root cause of it. You must run that diagnosis. You must use that information, to find a solution.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for that question. Okay, so another question we get a lot is people asking, "Oh, please, how can we cope with a baby husband, like a mommy's boy kind of husband?" So a mommy's boy is okay, even though he's a man, is the man of the house, is meant to be the head or the leader, but he seemed not to be able to play his role properly. He cannot stand on his own to take decision or to say, you know what, this is my home. I don't want external interferences. So the wife see him as maybe a baby's boy or a daddy's girl. So many questions have been coming as to how do we handle such husband that you feel, oh, he's not mature enough. It's like, is the wife pushing him to stand on his feet or to play his role as a man?
Anyway, you saw him that way before you married him, but you overlooked it. Look, very hardly do this kind of things spring up in marriage, because you would have watched him with his mother, you would have watched him with his father, you would have watched her with her mother, you would have watched her with her father, you would have seen his father, you would have seen his mother, you would have seen her father and her mother. A lot of people just don't look, they don't observe. The whole concept of courtship is to question everything. That's what courtship means. Question everything,
Everything.
observe everything, be aware of everything, identify what you want, where your future is. A lot of people don't have life goals and life vision, long, medium to short term. They don't have their life till 70 or 80. They don't have a plan for their life. And people that fail to plan today, they plan to fail tomorrow. And so they just jump on the bandwagon, not knowing that you can marry and destroy your destiny.
Hmm.
You can marry and you have a short destiny.
Hmm.
So look, we overlook so many things because yes, we want to marry, time is going. Oh, his family has a good name, they have money. It comes with the package. Oh. You want to marry from a wealthy family, it comes with the territory. Oh.
Hmm.
It comes with the territory. Yes, yes, yes. They will control him. He
Hmm.
has always worked for the father's company. Every member of their family works for their father's company. Or
Hmm.
they live in Ikoyi, they live in, Western, they live in Hampstead, they live in, and yeah, you like the paraphernalia, but you don't like, ah, you're in denial
Hmm.
and you need help
Hmm.
because, you cannot like an aspect of something, enjoy an aspect of something, and then you despise another aspect of it. You've got to be able to look at things holistically and analyze things holistically and make your decision based on where you are going, based
Hmm.
on what you want in your life, based on your destiny, based on your life vision. So, you are going to have to live with it. Mommy's boy, is either you stay in the ship or you step out of the ship. Because
Hmm.
mommy's boy is not going to change. That's how he's been. That's how you met him. That's how, mommy's boy is not going to change until mommy's boy realizes that
Hmm.
I don't want this anymore. But mommy's boy is also addicted to it. He cannot function out of it because
Hmm.
mommy and daddy, they've made him dysfunctional. They make every decision from him. And when he was a kid, they've
Hmm.
never allowed him to make a decision. But one day, mommy and daddy will die. And that's why people that grew up like that, once their parents go, they squander and they bring down that empire. How
That's
many
true.
how many business empires have you seen,
Hmm.
right? That transcends generation. It's
Hmm.
the failure of the parents. It's the concept of mommy's boy mom. That is there.
Yeah.
So you married the package.
Hmm.
You have to deal with it. Well, if you haven't married yet, these are the things that you need to, be aware of. You need to
Hmm.
be asking and interrogating. How does it relate to his siblings? How does it
Hmm.
relate to his parents? How do his parents relate to him? Do they respect him? Do they allow him to take initiative? Do they allow him to make mistakes? How do they interfere in his life? You know? Because you see, at the end of the day, right, that's how you're going to bring up your own children too. You will make your children useless,
Hmm.
because you will just repeat, the process. So, there's so many things. A lot of people think that marriage is the be all and have all. Do
Hmm.
you know that you don't have to marry? It actually doesn't make you.
But some people don't want to hear that.
There are too many people that have been destroyed by marriage. Marriage doesn't give you an identity. Marriage
Hmm.
doesn't make you.
That's true.
Marriage is hard work. You have to realize that marriage is hard work.
It's not for lazy people.
Hey, life is tough on its own. Then you now have the liability with somebody else and then children. Marriage is not a joke. It is hard work. And so you have to wake up to the reality of what marriage is.
Hmm.
And don't get into it. It's just like you can't just go and walk anywhere.
Hmm.
Say, this place that you want to go and work, the work is hard though. You will borrow your self-sense.
It's
So a
true.
lot of people don't borrow themselves sense. They don't do the needful. They don't learn the needful. They don't set their goals ahead of time. So if you're not yet married, right, just know of a certainty that if you are incomplete, if you are dysfunctional, you are not ready.
Hmm.
If you don't have a life goal, a life plan, long term, right, and you have a
Yeah.
purpose, and you are living your purpose, right,
Yeah.
don't marry because purpose needs to meet purpose
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
fulfill purpose. That's what marriage is. Purpose, right, needs to meet purpose, and both purpose will fulfill purpose.
Hmm.
That's what marriage is. So if you
Hmm.
haven't found your purpose or you're on a pathway to finding your purpose, if you get into a boat, right? If you don't have a life vision and you get into a boat, you'll be living someone else's vision. And that will bring about frustration, lack of satisfaction, unhappiness. in your future. So, it's time for us to begin to get it right. The reason why many marriages are failing, many societies are dysfunctional is simply because of dysfunctional people. People that are going nowhere, people that are not fulfilling any purpose or any. It's time for us to wake up. Now that COVID-19 is here, let us pause first. I mean, let us press pause, right? And
Yeah.
borrow ourselves from brain.
Brain.
Reintroduce ourselves to ourselves. Reintroduce ourselves to our future. Re-engage, reposition, and start all over again. Let us get the purpose of everything that we're looking for right. Because let us get the timing right. Some people married before their time. They were immature because maturity is very, very critical for marriage.
That's true.
Maturity
It's
is
very.
very, very critical for success. So it's very, very important for us to wake up to this. Very, very.
Thank you so much, sir, for that response. So there is this hot argument again that has been ongoing on our platform. So some parents are of the school of thought that you don't have to beat your child to correct that child. You don't have to use a rod on a child. In fact, one said that, see, if you are using a rod on your child, you are abusing that child, and that child will only turn out, hardened in future. That as parents, we shouldn't even use, the rod at all on the child. Meanwhile, and some other parents are of the school of thought that, see, we start spanking even as early as 15 months. We start spanking our children. Why? Because we want a situation whereby by the time they are 3 years old or 5 years old, they are well behaved. But some believe that when you spank, you are hardening the child, and it's not good for the emotional development of that child. Sir, what do you think about that?
And I think the question that we have to ask is, why are we spanking? What is the purpose of that spanking? Right? So I think, it is to deter a child from doing what they used to do and to correct a child, right? And to train a
Yeah.
child what he needs to do. It's supposed to be correctional. It's supposed to be training. It's supposed to be a deterrent, right?
Yeah.
The question we have to ask ourselves is when we beat them, most times, right, it is a display of anger. It is a display of irritation. It is a display of what is going on inside us. It is not about that child. Oftentimes, it is not about that child. It's about you. It's about you are taking it out on that child. Your husband abused you. Your boss abused you. There was traffic. You are taking out your own frustration on that child. So you are using the rod to transfer your anger and to release your anger. That is abuse. Now, there are different ways to create deterrence. There are different ways to correct. There are different ways to train because there are four kinds of children. There are children that are moved by their emotions, that is, their feelings. There are children, that we call them kinesthetic children. Children that are auditory digital, that is, they make sense of everything. They are analytical and logical. There are children that are visual. There are children that are auditory tonal. They are moved by what they hear. Some are moved by what they see. Now, if you correct a child that is auditory digital by beating him, all he will say to himself is, Pata Pata, mommy will beat me. So you have failed. You have failed to create a deterrent, to correct that child and train that child. You have failed. He knows mommy will just get angry and beat him. Pata Pata, that's all. And so he will get ready for it. But that child, you're supposed to reason with him because he thinks. He's a thinker. You see that child now, you talk to that child and reason with him, and you had better have your thinking faculty right as well. So that when that child asks you a question, you can answer, you don't slap him. Shut up, stupid child. Why are you asking me that question? He has defeated you. That child is, my child is more intelligent than you. In fact, right, I find that a lot of children are parenting their parents.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know, if that child is kinesthetic, right?
Hmm.
There are
Yeah.
two things you can do. You can hold that child, you can love that child, you can cuddle that child after you spank that child a bit. It is that one that is kinesthetic, that is a feeler, that doesn't like pain. And there's a measure of pain. And after you inflict that pain, right? They say that the Yoruba say you use the right hand to beat the child, but you use the left hand
Left
to
hand.
you must give that gesture of love. Then there's the auditory toner, the one that you will say that when daddy, I'm going to tell your daddy, and when your daddy comes, your daddy is going to have a word with you. And that child is pissing in their pants in fear. Ah! Um, let daddy forget. So daddy does not talk to you. Ah! And there are ones that you will take away their gifts. Gifts. The gifts that you're giving them, Nintendo, game, stuffed toy, you take it away. There are some that you put them inside naughty corner. The ones that are kinesthetic, they like to run and jump around and play. Put them inside naughty corner for 5 minutes. You will see the effect of naughty corner. So naughty corner is more powerful than the effect of cane.
Hmm.
Just wielding that cane alone, if you know what they are doing, just wielding that cane alone, that child will correct himself.
Hmm.
So a lot of us, right, are
Hmm.
amateurs, and we need to graduate. We need
Hmm.
to become experts.
Hmm.
And you cannot just become expert by fluke.
Hmm.
You need to be trained for it. If you want to be a great expert parent, get
Hmm.
parenting training, 21st century parenting training. Because these
That's true.
children that we're grooming now, they're different kettle.
Hmm.
They are archaic, they are current, and
Hmm.
they are future. We cannot
Hmm.
put old ones in new lines.
Hmm.
That's why you need to come for parenting 2.0.
Hmm.
Come and level up and upgrade your
True.
parenting skills. If not,
Hmm.
problem big. Problem.
That's true. Thank you, sir, for that answer. So the last question, because of time, so the last question is always about shows, house shows. So I've heard some women say, "Oh, it doesn't even assist with shows, even to help me with the baby. You know, you cannot do that. I get to do all the work, and at the end of the day, you will still be expecting me to do the needful in the other room." Some will say, "Oh, I'm a career woman. I would have gone to work from morning till night, and he's still expecting me to come back, cook for his mother, cook for himself. You know, how do I get to do that because of their busy schedule?" And I know that you will understand this, having a wife that is on the board of a multinational company, you can understand how busy she will be. So now imagine such a busy person still coming back from work, to still have to do shows, have to do the. So how can you help to speak to men to try to make them see reasons why at times these women, especially the career one, may need some sort of support system at home, so that they don't give them too much, they don't belabor them with too much work, considering that they also have a career to pursue.
A lot of people, a lot of men, right? They've married their wives out to their fathers. So that behavior that you
Mm,
must fresh soup every night, you got it from your father. So your wife is married to your father,
mm,
not married to you.
mm,
A lot of men want house girl. So you go and marry a house girl, not a dignified woman in society, because there are different things that both require. A lot
mm.
of men want dry cleaner and whatnot.
A washerwoman.
And they still want a dignified woman in society, a woman that will make them proud. You know, a lot of men want their women, to contribute to the economy of the house.
True, very true.
You are fooling yourself, because you cannot have both. So just this morning, my wife lives in Abuja. She's MD of Africa's #1 hotel and CEO. So, it comes to the territory. I have to come to Abuja to spend time with my family and children. But I understand that my number one purpose is to be her greatest cheerleader and to help her become everything that God has ordained her to be. If I don't do it in my house, I cannot be said to be a great coach outside, helping other people and fooling myself. If I'm not doing it for my children to help them be everything that they want to be, then I'm useless. If you go and understand the construct of love, you'd understand that, even though you give your life out there and you cut yourself off, even though you can interpret the language of angels and you speak their language, even though you have faith to move mountains, but you have not love, you are useless. And what is love? Go to First Corinthians 13. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is. Go and read it. Love is a verb. Love is not a feeling. Love is a dedicated, affectionate commitment. It's a decision to the well-being of your loved ones first. So well-being requires that everything that God has ordained them to be, right, you help them become it. That's why the father gave her to you to be her father. You do that to your daughter. Don't you want your daughter to go to the best school? To stand up to all men and women and rise to become everything that she wants to be. Oftentimes you say, "Oh, don't let the girl triple. Don't let her go and wash plate. Let the house girl go. Are you going to do it? You cannot do it to your daughter. Why would you do it to your daughter? Don't you know that, when the father handed her over to you, that he trusted you? Don't you know that beyond her father's daughter, she is the Almighty God's daughter? Are you okay? You married the daughter of a king and the most powerful man in the world. Is that how you would treat a princess? Are you okay? What's wrong with you guys, man? Her glory is your glory. Her elevation is your elevation.
Our progress is your progress.
You understand? She is the evidence of what you are. It means that you have a problem. If you want her to be the house girl, the cook, the washwoman, you have a problem. You have a self-esteem problem. And you wanted her to marry your father, not you, because you're not present in that marriage. The father is ruling your marriage, or wherever you learned that rubbish from. So go and get her a cook, go and get her a nanny, get her the support system that she needs, and let her flourish in everything that God has ordained her to be. Support her to be everything that she's supposed to be. That's your role, man. That's your
Yeah.
role. That's why you are a man. You're supposed to provide, to protect, to nurture. You're supposed to give your life, not them give their life for you. You are the
Thank
one
you,
that's
sir.
supposed to be like Christ. Don't you understand the standard that is expected of you? You are the Christ in your home. Christ gave his life. He didn't ask the disciples to take his place. Christ says that the greatest of you has to be the servant to wash their feet. Hello, wake up, man. Wake up.
Woo! Thank you so much,
You
sir.
know, you like that one. I know you like that last one. You will thank you for that one. But
No,
you can know the truth, and the truth shall set us free.
yes, truly,
Thank you
truly.
very, very much, Morolayo, for having
Thank
me on the
you.
show.
Thank you.
Anytime we have to speak truth to institutions like marriage, it is important that we do. And I hope that the truth that we've heard tonight will set us free.
Thank,
Thank you for having me.
yeah.
Good
Thank
night.
you so much, sir, for coming. Thank you for honoring our invitation. Thank you so much. Bye, sir. So we have come to the end of today's event. I hope you have learned a lot. Please do share this video so that more people can get to watch it. Thank you so much for staying to the end of this program. I remain your host, Moralai and Oputi, till we meet again. I say bye bye. Please don't forget to also subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's very important for you to enjoy more videos, more topical issues. Till we meet again. I say bye bye.